Hey y'all, it's CT Daya, and this is New Haven Pod In. So I am Adaya, and I have a guest with me today, and this is Bird. You guys might know her by Beat by Bird. Right now we are at Track House. Shout out to Track House. They have 2 locations. They will be moving into 1 location in East Haven coming up. Please follow them on social media. But yeah, so we're gonna get into our weekend recap. So, Bird, what did you do this weekend or the past 2 weeks?
The past 2 weeks, obviously I work on weekends. It's been getting real hectic with proms coming up lately. So I've been working like crazy the last 2 weekends. I haven't been going out actually, so it's kind of good. I needed a break after Cinco de Mayo.
So what I did this weekend is, y'all know my prom's coming up. So prom and graduation. So I have a lot to plan for. Then I'm going to Atlanta in like 2 weeks now for this podcast with Joe and my aunt. So it's just very hectic. And then when I come back, I have prom like 3 days after. So I'll make it work.
Are you ready?
I am so ready for prom. I keep posting my countdown. Yes. I'm so ready for prom. I keep posting my countdown because I'm just like, just come faster.
Let's get it over with, right?
Yes. Not even over it. I just want to like, just pop out and just tell everybody. So we're going to get into the spotlight of the week. I want to shout out Citywide Youth here in New Haven, Connecticut. If you guys don't know them, they are a group of teenagers, like youth, that literally do protests. They had a protest like a few days ago on Wednesday for, you know, the mental health in the school. So yeah, shout out to them. Thank you to them for helping out the youth with school or what we go through as teenagers in New Haven. So we're going to jump into our hot topics. We're going to talk about the protest that the high schoolers had on Wednesday. So they had a protest for all the high schoolers in New Haven, like Metro, Career, Hillhouse, Cross, and technically you were able to walk out, but every school principal didn't know that or give them permission. So if you walked out, you walked out, like you just wasn't allowed back. So they had a walkout for high schoolers to not have cops in school and to have a better mental health environment, because I guess like to help with our mental health. And I guess cops being in school do not help with that. So how do you feel about that? Like the schools and cops in school?
I mean, I can understand where you guys come from with having that. I mean, unfortunately, in the inner cities, you know, we do have situations where people bring weapons, people are fighting. So it's kind of hard to say you guys can't have some type of enforcement. Mm-hmm. Within the schools, because schools is crazy. It was crazy when I was in high school, so I already know it's off the chain now with you know, the younger generation being in school. So I mean, how I felt when I was in high school, it never bothered me. Most of the police who were in my school were very cool. We always had like black officers, Hispanic officers, so you know, they never really picked with us or bothered us. They was just there to do, they were just there to do their job. And you know, whoever gave them problems is who got problems, you know. So it wasn't a really big thing, but I could totally understand under the climate that, you know, we've been in.
That's what I was saying, because especially at Hill House, we have 2 officers, and it's literally, if you guys know Tyson, he's our officer, and then we have 1 more officer, but they don't do nothing. Like that's why I feel like with Hill House walking out, they really don't. They sit there and talk to EG and talk about people.
They just wanted to walk out.
Like they did, honestly, they did. Because a lot of people asked me like, was I walking out? And I was like, honestly, no, because I don't know what's it for. And I'm like, when I found out, I'm like, I just think like Hill House, I don't need to walk out. Our cops are not bad.
Right, and if you guys didn't have any situations with the cops on the students, then I don't understand what the walkout is for, the protest.
I just think other schools did it because, like, I think people just, honestly, that whole protest, I took it as a joke because everybody I know that went just to not be in school.
Right. If you want to stand for something, make sure it's for something, not just because, you know, that's what's going on right now. Like, if there's no reason for it, then for what? I mean, of course, who's going to not take the opportunity to walk out of school? But I mean, the purpose of it is just, you know, if you ain't having no problems, I don't understand why
you shouldn't go. Another hot topic is about the abortion situation. So as you guys know, our Senate, which is a whole group of men, are trying to make abortions legal in just the United States. And my opinion about that, I think like that should not be illegal. I think like it should not be illegal, I should say. I think it should be illegal because you're pretty much letting females not do what they want to do with their own body. So you're telling me like if someone was raped, they can't go get an abortion. Like I just think that's too much on her, because if you think about it, she just was raped. So now she has a baby by her rapist that she has to look every day, and that's not good on her mental health and her issues that she has to go through with being raped. So Bird, what do you feel about the whole abortion situation?
I mean, of course, you know, I'm totally in agreement with you. I think it's crazy, and you know, it's so funny. I just was reading something on Twitter. I think Keke Palmer had put it out. She was like, you know, how is there laws being made to, you know, prevent abortions when there's a shortage of formula? So it's like, you know, not only are they targeting women, but they're also targeting minority women, because minority women are the ones that fall short when it comes to pregnancy, when it comes to maternity rates and things like that. So low maternity rate and, you know, having issues with pregnancy. Black women have always, and women of color have always struggled with that and have been the, you know, the highest at risk. So it's really an attack, I feel like, on our culture per usual. And once again, you have, like you said, older white men making these choices when, you know, it's really not in their hands and their right to speak on.
So I saw a video yesterday of our vice president, Camilla. She put a video out saying about the abortion, about how I forgot, she said someone in the America, how we did not agree to not having abortions. And they took that as like not sticking to what we said. And she did say like, we're gonna fight for our rights to like, for women to have their right to do what they want with their own bodies. And I really want to say thank you to her, because she really is trying everything in her power to help us women in general to get our point across. Like, bro, we're women, we're gonna do what we want, and like you can't force us to keep something. And I think mainly with them, they're saying like an abortion is literally us killing a kid, but like, to be honest, it's really not a kid, it's literally a fetus. It's like, it's nothing.
Right, and a lot of times politics, they try to mix religion into politics, and you're not supposed to do that. Like, because then it gets even more tricky. It has to be separated, and you know, it's so funny when they mix the religion in it. It's like we could go deeper into that, because that unravels a whole lot of sins that we shouldn't be committing that are still not illegal, you know, in America. But now we're gonna just point out this one. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense, and it's not right. And you know, that's why I try to stay away from politics sometimes, because it's like Kamala, she can't do everything. You know what I'm saying? It's so, politics is so deep, and there's so many things behind it, and a lot of times it overwhelms me thinking about it, because it kind of almost puts fear, because it's like, okay, we have one black woman in the Senate and it took this long. You know what I'm saying? So we are breaking down barriers, but it's like, damn, like, we're just literally getting our feet wet. You know what I'm saying? So it's much progress to be made. But as black people, you know, they always say like, look at all the progress we made, you know, thus far. So I feel like our generation, we have to kind of start tapping into politics. I think we try to like steer away from it, because we're like, you know, this new generation who, you know, we're on social media, and that's how we protest and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, F them, like, why y'all still worried about them? It's like, it's always going to be a problem. It's always going to be our problem. So, you know, it's important. I'm glad you brought it up, because that's a real important topic right now for us as young people to talk about.
Yep. So we're going to get straight into our main topic. Our main topic is we're going into part 2 of talking about just things after high school, like the different paths you take. So Bird, can you tell us about the paths you took and your story from high school going into college?
Yeah, because my story was crazy. It was all over the place. So, leaving out of high school, first I went to, I graduated from a New Haven public school, career magnet in 2013. And I had no idea really what I wanted to do. I wasn't, senior year was like a blur to me. Like, I don't even know what was going on senior year for me. So, of course, a confused senior going into, you know, her freshman year of college is going to be a confused freshman. So I went in undecided, and I didn't know what I wanted to do even after my freshman year. So sophomore year, I kind of had to make a decision, and I went into psychology. And I did my 4 years at Hampton University, the HBCU in Hampton, Virginia. Shout out Hampton.
Shout out to a HBCU school in general.
For sure. Like, it's so many like young Black kids that don't know what HBCUs are.
I think now a lot of people are going to HBCU school. Like,
are there more of them?
Yes. So my decision day was last Sunday, and not last Sunday, 2 Sundays ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I've seen are going to Morgan State.
Really?
Like,
okay.
a lot of people are going to a HBCU school, and it's literally Morgan State. But I think it's mainly because HBCU schools are giving out more money than other schools are. And I think mainly because a lot of people are like, hey, it's an HBCU school.
But it's funny because when I was in school, HBCUs weren't giving out money. It's so funny. I know my actual school, I seen on Twitter that the president was giving out money to help students from Ukraine. Like, they were boarding them at our school. And it's just like, I'm sorry, how are you helping Ukraine students have room and board? And there's literally students out there that are struggling, that are getting kicked out of school because they can't afford room and board. They can't afford an apartment, and it's crazy. But back to, the whole HBCU thing, I think another main reason as to why a lot of kids might not be educated on it is because you guys don't have a lot of the high school college tours.
Yeah.
Do you guys still do that?
Hill House do. Like, we literally took a tour to UConn Southern. One of my guidance counselors was trying to find a way for us to go to a HBCU school in Virginia, like, for overnight. But like, you needed permission, so I don't know if they still did that or not.
And I know with COVID, it's probably
like
crazy. Like, nobody was able to do nothing for the last couple of years. But I think like they should start bringing that back, the college tours, because I didn't know. That's how I found out. I mean, I had cousins who went to HBCUs, but I didn't get the experience until I actually stepped foot onto HBCU, and I was like, oh, this is what they talking about. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to one of these, like, for sure. If I'm going to go to college, I'm going to go and have fun and be around my people. So it was a good experience. I actually graduated in 2017, but my sophomore year is when I started doing makeup out there. And I never thought that it was going to be my job. Like, I was just learning how to do my face because, I don't know if anybody knows, but at Hampton University is like known for, it's like pretty girl campus. So it's like drop dead gorgeous chicks like walking around like in high heels for like 8 o'clock classes. Like, it's serious like that. So like, I'm walking around, in sweats and stuff like how I was at high school. So I'm like, what the heck is going on out here? Like, these girls look good. So that's what really kind of started me getting into like, just trying to practice on my face. So I could just look cute on campus. But I started like practicing on my friends out there in like the dorm, and then I got myself a little apartment out there, and then I started like actually like taking clients for the first time. But of course I wasn't charging them. I was just doing it because I'm like, oh, y'all want to come to me? Sure, like, pull up. You could come, but I wasn't charging nothing. And then I think I started at like $10 when I did start. So it was all like just for fun. And then it kind of like took off after that. So now, fast forward, it's 2022. So once I graduated from college, I knew I didn't want to go and get my master's. And, I don't know, you probably don't know, but like with certain majors, it's like mandatory. Like, you can't really get a job or like get a good paying job with just bachelor's. So I already knew I was done with school. I had enough of school. It was no masters. I was not paying for the masters. My parents, they held down bachelors, and it was like, obviously I would have to take on, my financial aid for my master's program and all that stuff and tuition. So, everything was the ball was going to be in my court, and it scared me. So I was like, I'm not doing that. So I went back home, and I started being a teacher's assistant at Davis Street School. So I got like the teacher experience for 2 years. That was cool, very stressful. Didn't want to do that. I was thinking about makeup the whole time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to like do this full time. So I met Renee Griffin, and she kind of welcomed me into her shop on Shelton Ave to do a prom special. And then after the prom special, she couldn't get rid of me. Like, I loved the feeling of being in the shop. I loved all the girls that were in there. And I just liked the whole sisterhood of it. And I liked, that, like, this is real. Like, people actually come in here and this is work. This is considered work. Like, we don't have to clock in and we don't have to, like, deal with, like.
You're your own boss.
We're our own bosses. So that experience, it kind of, like, spoiled me. And I've been with her from then on now to her third shop, which is here on 534 State Street, Truck House Beauty Lounge. And we're going into the new shop, the fourth shop, hopefully next month. So it's a lot of twists and turns, but I finally like kind of stuck it and kind of landed something.
So I have questions.
Okay.
Were your family supportive of what you wanted to do when it came to doing makeup full time?
They were kind of like on both sides of the fence. Like, my parents were never the type that were kind of like, oh no, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to do that. But they kind of always had like an idea of how things should go. And that's just like all our parents. Like, oh, you go to college and then you get a, da-da-da. So it's kind of weird when your child comes and they like done with college and stuff. And they're like, oh, I want to be a makeup artist and a face painter. Because I was doing face painting for kids. And my dad kind of looked at me like, what? And I was like, yeah, like, I'm like, like, look at Instagram, like, because they knew about social media, but they wasn't on it like that. So they were like Facebookers. So I had to show him Instagram. I had to show him like YouTube and like make him kind of understand it. And still he was like, okay, like, if you think you can make money off of this, cool. Like, do you think, I mean, I did what I, was asked of. I went to school, and so when I actually started, he was kind of like weary about it. My mom, they didn't really know what I was doing until like then it started like moving. And now, of course, they like walk up to people and be like, oh, my daughter is like, she can do your makeup. So they try to embarrass me and stuff, but they just proud and they see like, how the vision kind of mapped out.
So do you regret your decision that you made?
No.
I wouldn't think you would either.
Nah.
Guys, she met Beyonce, so I wouldn't think she would either.
I didn't do her face though.
No, she just met her. So I wouldn't think she would regret that at all.
No, I don't think I'll ever go back to a 9-to-5. It's so crazy. Like, I all my friends who have 9-to-5s, they come to be like venting about work. I'm like, just quit. Start your own business. And they like, what? I'm like, no, for real. It's that easy. Like, just do it. Like, I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. But it's so rewarding. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's difficult. It's extremely difficult. A lot of people think it's easy, and it's harder to go into a 9-to-5. A 9-to-5, you clock in, you ain't got to talk to nobody, do your job, or don't do it and still get paid. You know what I'm saying? But here, or wherever you are, like being entrepreneur and having your own business, it's like constant work, like 24/8. Like, you're the boss, you're the secretary, you're the administration. By administration, I mean you're doing emails, you're doing text messages, you're doing promo, you're doing marketing. So it's like a nonstop job. Oh, and then you got to control your Instagram. Instagram is a job in itself. I just started making reels, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, why is people don't have classes on this? Because it's like, it's a skill. Wow. And people are really good at it, but it's definitely not as easy, but it's way more rewarding when you get paid whenever you want to get paid. You know what I'm saying? You make your own schedule. You choose to deal with people who you want to deal with. You choose to do business with people who you want to deal with. And you learn a lot about yourself when it comes to like how you handle people, just customer service. That could get really tricky. Yeah. With dealing with a lot of different personalities and stuff. So I've definitely grown over the years and learned how to professionally handle myself. And that's a skill to have, to be able to cut things off and, remain yourself, but also remain like professional in all circumstances.
Okay, so where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Ooh, I don't know. Why would you ask that question? All right, let me think. Okay, so 5 years from now, I will be, I think, 31 or 32, I believe. So, no, I'll be 31. So I think I would definitely want to like move out of state. I still want to be doing makeup, but I want to be the makeup artist that comes in like once or twice a week. I don't want to be the person. I don't want to be the makeup artist 5 years from now that has to make sure I do every single weekend and get all the girls, and I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be so comfortable where I could, today's Tuesday, I'm gonna go in. Like, why not? Like, I guess I could go in today. Like, or you know what I'm saying? Or like, I want to be able to just take on a couple of clients instead of having a full day of clients. Because, you know, as entrepreneurs and especially as service providers, a lot of what we do kind of affects our health. And I'm starting to see that, like, just, you know, being 6 years in, like, my hands cramping, my back hurting, I'm fatigued. It's a lot. And, you know, you don't really pick up on it because you're constantly moving and moving and moving until your body kind of like shuts down. And I've had several situations where my body literally shut down, and I was forced to stop working for a little while. And you know, I got a mentor, and they were just telling me, you know, self-care, you know, as an entrepreneur, you definitely have to incorporate self-care, because it's like business all the time. It's like, okay, when you have time for yourself, like, and I want to be okay with saying, no, I think I'm gonna go and get a massage or take a little getaway, go out to eat today instead of going to the shop. You know, I want to be that comfortable in my finances and in my business where I can do that. And I also don't really want to be behind the chair. I want to be making money in my sleep, you know, through products and stuff like that. And that's the major key, I feel like, to financial freedom. You know, it's okay to become an entrepreneur, but there's a goal here. You know what I'm saying? You're not just trying to get all the likes and the followers on Instagram. You have a long-term goal where it's like, you know, I want my kids to eat off of this. I want their kids to eat off of this. Or maybe my kids can, you know, get in the business as well. Or I can teach them how to do it so they don't have to clock in for a 9 to 5. Or I don't got to send them off to college because they can just take over my business. So for 5 years, I want to be in this space where I could go get a massage on a Saturday.
So I know your dad is the head of the NAACP chapter here.
No, he's not the chapter of New Haven.
No, he just
he sits on the national board, and he's the president for Connecticut.
Okay. So how was that for you growing up? Like, how did it teach you seeing him work wrong?
And I forgot to actually say that he just got awarded the Activist of the Year in NAACP. He got an Image Award for that. So shout outs to my dad. But him being involved in NAACP, he was involved with NAACP since I was a child, and it definitely has affected me, like, as an adult. Now looking back, like, I'm so my eyes are just open more to a lot of different things. Like, I things that I didn't pick up when I was younger, I'm very, like, open now, and I'm more appreciative of my people, our culture, and I'm very protective of it also. I'm probably overly protective of it because I have, like, old activists that live with me, so you don't play around. And now I don't play around when it comes to certain things, comes to respect, and it just comes to, you know, treating people right. Because I've been in some wild situations, especially with police, and I literally was put in a situation where my father was the only person that could help me in the situation, and he did, because of the involvement that he had with this organization. So once I was in that situation, I was like, okay, this is like a for real thing, because when police are scared of an organization that's ran by powerful Black people, that speaks volumes or whatever. So that's when you know, like, they're doing the right thing. And you know, just like watching, like, I was in marches as a kid, like I was in all types of stuff. And you know, we talked about a lot of different, like, activists that came, you know, before our time. So not just Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, like, you know, he's taught me a lot of different activists, and just, you know, just how rich our history is, because of course in school we don't get it. And I also it all didn't really tie in until I went to a HBCU. That's when I kind of realized, oh, okay, now it's all clicking, because high school and middle school is like, I feel like Black kids is just lost, and we don't enjoy school because we don't get it. It's not meant for us to get. I mean, of course, math and all that stuff, but when it comes to, like, you know, our history and just our culture and understanding ourselves as young people, we're never going to really, I think, click with school, because school is not meant to click for us. So that's why, like, when I went to a HBCU, I was like, okay, now I see the whole social injustices. Now I'm getting a little bit invested into politics a little bit, because now the Trayvon Martin thing had happened. I think, was I in high school, or was that my freshman year of college? I can't remember, but I remember marching downtown New Haven. I don't know if you probably was too young to remember that, but they had, when Trayvon Martin passed, they had a huge rally in New Haven. Like, it was, Dixwell was like, it's like Carly how the Freddie used to be. I know you.
I think I heard of that, but I don't remember being.
It was a lot of people that came out. Everybody was in hoodies. Like it was dope. But yeah, that's so once I started getting older, that's when like things that I was like, you know, planted in me as a kid started kind of like clicking as an adult. So, yeah.
So, do you think your success now is because of you or because of your dad? Because like you said, you met Beyonce, you did makeup for that singing group, like
SWV.
Yeah. So do you think it's because of yourself, or do you think your dad has an impact on it a little bit?
I think my dad has an impact on it for the experiences that he gave me to prepare me for where I am now. But everything that I've done as far as, you know, makeup goes was all on my own. And, you know, he even says, he's like, you know, he doesn't understand my world. You know what I'm saying? Like, he understands business, but he doesn't understand a makeup artist.
I think that's all dads, though.
Right. And it's not for him to get, right?
No.
So, like, you know, I kind of, like, and just like in the beginning, he didn't really understand it. So I kind of so once he even, like, I think the first celebrity I did was like Hennessy. And, you know, I got that all just off of my own work and my own marketing and stuff like that. And once he seen that, he was like, okay, like, I see what you're doing. Like, so I don't think he really had a piece in like me building my business, but both my parents have a piece of me and my character. So, and that's the only way you get to success is when you're like within good, like when you do right by people, and because you can have as much talent as you want, but if you're not a good person, then you're not going to get those experiences. And I think I got those experiences off of being who I am and being a good person.
I have one more question. Do you see yourself like? Do you think you're a celebrity? Like you're famous?
No.
Because I just wanted to ask that because it's like, you know, you met like a lot of like important people, like just going to the BET Awards, like you met every single person, and like I know you probably told them about the work you do. So that's what I'm saying. Like, do you see yourself like as famous as them just off of your work?
No. And it's so funny, like every situation, every encounter that I've had with a celebrity was so humbling because they're so regular. Like even Beyonce, like I mean, she's not regular, but
I love Beyonce.
But like she like everybody that night was able to walk up to her, so it wasn't just a me thing. A lot of people met her that night, and I was actually sitting next to a female who met her also, but she didn't get a video, so I was like, I don't know what to do. That's on you, sis. You was there, but you fumbled it. So, but no, I think like, and I used to think like, oh, celebrity, but like the more you like start to be around them, you kind of start realizing like these are just people with titles. Just as I have a title as a makeup artist, or you have a title as a podcaster, like it's just a title. That's all it is. Like, and they're really mad regular. So. I don't think I'm a celebrity. I don't think I have that status yet or that money yet. I don't have celebrity money yet, so I ain't a celebrity. But I feel like, you know, I support my hometown, and my hometown supports me back. So I think where the popularity or that comes from, like word of mouth and of course social media. So that's social media's job for real. Like that. Social media does its thing, and you know, when, like I said, when you're a good person and when, you know, you do right by people, then you have respect for people, even though you are making money and even though you are around higher, you know, scale or higher earning people. You know, I'm still always me, and I treat my clients like how I would treat my celebrity clientele, all the same. So it's, you know, it's no real difference for me. Everybody has to pay the same, so everybody's gonna get treated the same.
So thank you guys for listening.
Hey,
thank you, Bert, for being on.
That was fun.
That was fun.
You had some good questions there. I wasn't expecting. You had grown-up questions. I'm like, wait, we talking about, what are we talking about? Like high school people be talking about this, or is just you? You just on that.
I think it's just me.
That
but like,
higher
I think
level.
other high school people do as well.
But you're really mature,
day,
Daya, though, and you hang out with like a lot of older people. So I feel like you
yeah.
like
Shout
kinda,
out to my aunt, Rebecca.
Okay, shout out back. So I feel like you already good. You already, you know, got those people in your corner.
And Joe. Shout out to Joe as well.
And JoJo. Yeah, you have everybody right in your corner who needs to.
Yeah.
You're going to be thorough.
So, guys, please follow us on Pod and on Instagram. Also, Bird, do you want to give them any of your information?
Sure. They can follow me on Instagram. That's where I am primarily. At Beat by Berg. Follow me. And I am on Twitter, but I get a little wild on Twitter, so I'm not going to drop my Twitter.
Yes, and guys, please hit her up on her Instagram because she does makeup and she does really good.
Yeah,
she's been doing my makeup for so long. Yeah, especially for prom. Y'all
Yes.
better book them like ASAP.
And you can book your appointments at www.beatbyberg.store.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.